Steve Budin is here. It's time for Financial Focus and lots to talk about today, Steve.
Yeah, we had a tough Friday with the Fed decision and the reaction to it. Not surprising to me, but it was getting bumpy out there.
We're going to get to that in just a minute, but first let's talk about the housing market, not only here locally but across the nation. Existing home sales are falling.
Yeah, last month dropped about 5%. No surprise, prices had been going up pretty steeply, and as the prices go up, sales tend to go down. And I think the thing that concerns me is this has been the strongest part of the economy over the last year, the home builders and the housing market.
Okay.
If that begins to slow down, I think we have some issues. So we'll keep an eye on home sales. They tend to fluctuate on a monthly basis. But this is something I think the Fed knew beforehand, which is why they didn't raise interest rates last week.
Yeah, let's talk about that. They didn't do anything.
They didn't.
Fed hike. And so what does that mean for all of us?
Yeah, if you're a borrower, it's actually not a bad piece of news because mortgage rates and auto loan rates and credit card rates won't be going up. The problem is the reason the Fed didn't raise rates, and depending on who you believe, I personally think the Fed realizes that the economy is slowing down just a little bit, and they were afraid. And I think they caved into some pressure here by not raising rates. It really just brings things into more confusion. There was a lot of folks who thought September would be it. The closer we get to the end of the year, the tougher it gets for the Fed to move because next year we have a presidential election.
Right.
And the last thing the Fed wants to do is intervene in that type of scenario where they'll get hit from both sides if they begin to raise rates. So I think that if they don't do it in December, they're going to have a real problem on their hands as to what to do. But I think they're seeing data come in that the economy's slowing down a little bit.
Well, and not to mention just worry for everyone as this uncertainty kind of continues. We've been talking about it quite a lot here in Financial Focus. And one more thing to talk about this morning, Volkswagen making huge headlines today. Yeah,
we just mentioned this a couple of minutes ago, and this comes from an investor's perspective. Be careful what stock you own, right? We were talking about this before where if a goodwill of a company or if you don't trust that company going forward, it'll impact the company. And you see 20% down in a company's stock, the free market tends to punish companies that do these types of things. And there's strong evidence that they intentionally manipulated the emissions data to make themselves meet the criteria. But if you're a Volkswagen car owner, and they own a lot of different brands as well, and you bought this product with the expectation of doing the environment good with these diesel engines, and you were duped, what do you do? So this is the beginning of their problems. And I think potentially over 30,000 cars, they could be fined over $10 billion. Not that they will, but they have a big problem on their hands. But as an investor, you're a stockholder of Volkswagen, now what do you do? So it just is a little lesson, and be careful and keep up to date on what you own because something like this can come out of the blue and you can get hit real hard. Yeah, no kidding. Could be a major free fall for that company. The White House saying minutes ago before we got on midday that they are certainly concerned about what's happening with that company as well. Steve, good to see you. Midday will be right back. Everyone, stay with us.